Oh, it's almost Halloween! Probably. Been stuck in here for so long I've kind of forgotten what time is. Either way, a collection of interesting horror games came out recently, and I want to show it off. So here we are. It also gives me more time to work on Far Cry 4, which is taking a lot longer than I thought it would. I don't play many horror games, mostly because I tend not to get scared by them. Not because I'm some kind of badass, it's just a lot of them really aren't all that spooky. For example, say if I were to interrupt this review with a jump scare, that's not really scaring you. That's startling you. On the other hand, you're probably slightly on edge because you don't know if I will actually put a jump scare in this video. Now that right there is actual fear. Very slight fear, but still fear. Or dread. Dread X to be precise. It's the Dread X Collection 2, published by Dread X, with various indie devs developing horror games over the span of 10 days. Can you even make something scary in such a short time span? Does this collection actually deliver on its namesake? Well, we'll see, won't we?
I'm sorry to wake you up like this. You're probably wondering how you got here.
We awake in a shadowy, decrepit old house, staring at an old TV. Before we can even think about an escape route, a voice from the heavens, or, you know, those speakers up there, let us know why we're here.
I won't beat around the bush. Bad news, you are infected. It must have happened during the last testing cycle. The protocol should have been enough to prevent contagious exposure, but, well, maybe those were all bullshit too. It doesn't matter anymore. The good news is that we caught it early enough to do something about it. See that TV in front of you? There's a key on top. Go pick it up. Okay, good. You're still able to follow simple commands and, well, your legs still work. All good signs.
Hey, joke's on you. Only one of my legs works properly.
Now for the harder part. We're going to have to give you a cognitive kick. That should be enough to jumpstart your natural neural defense mechanisms. In normal circumstances, we'd be able to just recontextualize your inlaid traumas and reintroduce them as false memories through neural implanting, but that's just not an option anymore. So I, improvised. See those VHS tapes locked up around you? Use that key to open up one. Then just pop that bad boy into the VCR and, wait. Well, okay, I can't really tell you that it won't work if I do.
Keys, watch tapes. Sounds easy. Of course it sounds easy. Very few things in life sound hard until you actually start them. And if you want those keys, you've got some puzzles to solve. If your brain works like mine, this immediately gets the old fear almonds going, cause I'm an idiot. But these puzzles strike a good balance between fun and challenging. I wasn't stuck banging my head up against the wall for any of these, which is kind of rare for a horror game. Looking at you, Resident Evil. What the fuck was that water sample puzzle? Was I supposed to call Nemesis over to help me? They also help add to the already chilling atmosphere of this rickety old house. Not that it really needed any help. With the wind howling through the house's many holes, the floor creaking beneath your feet, and the whirring of the TV static before you put a tape in. How does the hub of a game managed to almost be as creepy as the game it contains? That's some fine work right there. We haven't even looked at the main event yet, so my hopes are already high. Let's use that first key and dive into... sorry, what? Squirrel Stapler is a first-person hunting wife reassembling simulator game. Developed by David Szymanski, one of the devs behind the previously reviewed Dusk. You play as some hunter guy, living in a little cabin in the woods, determined to bring his wife back via the power of hunting squirrels, and stapling them to her decaying corpse. Okay, odd premise. But once you get outside, the game starts to feel like a weird old budget hunting game. Just instead of hunting deer or people, you're hunting rodents that sit in trees all day and mock you. Squirrel fact: they can regenerate lost limbs, although it can take a few years to do so. This whole thing starts off rather simple. Shoot 5 rodents, bring them back and staple them to your... Can that even be classified as human anymore? But even at the starting level, there is something unsettling about all this. Ignoring the premise of stapling small creatures to something that looks more like spare ribs than a wife now, things just feel off. I can't quite put my finger on it, but even with the bright sun and green grass, I'm still on edge. It's like something is waiting out there for me, listening. Doesn't help that this game actually has a noise mechanic, meaning if you go sprinting through the woods at Mach 5, your catch will run away. But that can't be all it's here for. It's fine, just nab those flying rats and get back to... Yeah, that's never going to be not weird. All I see is squirrels! You've got 5 days to continue this task, but if you decide to explore, you'll notice 2 question marks on your map. At each there is a page, both of which change every day, which I'm not going to spoil, because you should play this game. Also, more facts. Squirrels can debone a human male in under 3 hours. Why did I need to know that, David? Are you okay? Oh, and any music you're hearing has been added by me, because the game has none. Instead, leaving you in this eerie silence with just the chirps of your prey mocking you in the distance, the sounds of your footsteps, and the growls of the... Okay, what the fuck? Now that noise mechanic comes into play. You aren't the only predator out here anymore, and your rifle fire draws them to you. So suddenly, this hunting trip isn't as easy as it seemed. Staying hidden is your best bet for dealing with them. Engaging them in one-on-one combat is not advisable. So stay low, pick your shots wisely, and if you do have to fight one, Circle Strafe will always be your friend. Ugh, fuck me, put a shirt on! So, you just do this for 5 days. Why only 5? Why does it stop there? Oh, someone invited him? He doesn't like me very much. You know what he does like? Facts. There are more squirrels than you have bullets, and you have made him very, very angry. Well, that's slightly concerning. Either way, that's all I'm going to tell you about this game, as I don't want to spoil this, or any other game in this collection. All jokes aside, Squirrel Stapler is... odd, but is both compelling and unnerving. It's like a creepypasta made real, a hunting game gone wrong, made by someone slightly off their rocker. It didn't even need to be set at night, you know, like most horror games. This is the first game I've played in this collection, and I'm already wonderfully confused. If you enjoy the weirder side of horror, I would highly recommend giving this a look, because this was one hell of a start, and I can only hope this continues to be this interesting. Just remember, squirrels enjoy inflicting pain, and
God is coming.
And we're back in the house, solving puzzles, generally feeling on edge, asking why there's a chair outside. Is it mine? We have a barbecue? Can I invite Caleb?
Ooh, now that's what I call a barbecue.
Sooner or later, you're gonna get another key, another tape to choose. To the End of Days. Sounds like a metal band, let's go with it. To the End of Days is a horror shooter developed by the Scythe dev team, a group that seems to mainly develop interesting horror games, like the Northbury Grove series. Can't say I've played those, but if they're anywhere near as well made as this, you're in good hands. It's the end of the world. A comet is going to hit the planet. The governments of the world tried to stop it, but the nuke missed. It's over. As our main character is halfway across the country, away from his family. Sounds like a road trip, or replace the comet with the Rapture, and you've got that weird Christian Mad Max knockoff that got made. Mr. President? Is that you?
This doesn't make any sense.
Well, our family isn't going to save itself. Probably. So let's get moving. Facelifter, what's that? Oh my god. Is that a shotgun with an axe attached to it? That's just too pornographic for this good Christian channel. Why would we need it though? Surely no one's going to try to stop us. No, wait. It's a cult. And they have guns. The Facelifter is the only gun you get throughout this game. But with the game being quite short, and with how satisfying this thing is to fire, oh, I don't mind. The gunplay just feels good. And the enemies blowing apart on contact is just grand in that. If my therapist heard me talking about this, I'd be section type way. Hey, they kidnap people. Fuck them. Didn't use the axe too much, mostly because I never really knew how low my health was. See, this game uses the Call of Duty bloody screen mode of health monitoring, so I never really knew if I was on death's door or just had people juice in my eyes again. It does work, chopping down cultists quickly and efficiently, but the game gives you a good supply of ammo, so maybe only use it if you absolutely have to. And not all the metal men that start popping up. Yeah, that's a thing. Turns out aliens are invading. And they're bloody durable. As soon as they start popping up, back the fuck up and fire. Because if they manage to close the distance, they will shred you. But with adequate ammo, you should be fine. Unless you decide to marvel over your victory. Okay, ow. The only real gripe I had with this game is it can sometimes be a bit too dark. But that was such a minor complaint I almost forgot to write it down. Oh, and the main guy talks a lot, which sure does cut into my murder time. He also has this thing called remorse, at least at the beginning of the game anyway.
What have I become?
Can't say I know what that is. Now what I do know is walking through an alien-infested city, carrying a shotgun axe combo, while listening to what sounds like a John Carpenter soundtrack. Is pretty fucking cool, and needs to be in a longer game. I mean, this game does have a good few chapters, but they are super short. And while the maps are good, there's not much to explore. Not gonna lie though, I still think you're done good, Scythe dev team, and I'd love to see this guy's fight continue. Time to put the gun away and head back to the house. God, I'll miss you. This time we're going to the moon. Wait, what's scary about that? There's nothing there except clangers and... oh no. Solipsis is a short horror puzzle game developed by Daniel Mullins Games, developer of The Hex and Pony Island. Pony Island? Hey, I own that game. Why haven't I played that yet? Oh yeah. From what I've seen of Pony Island, it looks good. So I had high hopes going into Solipsis, and aside from being extremely short, it met them pretty well. You play one half of a two-man team, stuck up on the moon looking for geological anomalies beneath the surface. They find one. If I need to tell you this doesn't go well, I fear you may have forgotten what collection we're playing here. I really don't want to spoil too much of this, as again, it's really short. But if you like horror games, you should really give this a go yourself. It unnerved me quite a bit, and that's pretty good for a game I could beat 5 times in an hour. Those moments where you have to rationalise what's happening, and all you can see is the astronaut's worried face, are pretty damn freaky. You know what's freakier than that? When you can't. Seriously, give this game a look. Even for its short time span, it's well worth it. Key, tape, you know this by now. Touched by an Outer God is a first-person horror shooter, developed by Wither Studios. From what I can gather, they've only made 2 games before this one. Now I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that, no matter what those games are like, I somehow doubt they're as weird as this one. It's been 3 years since an alien species called the Growth invaded. Humans are going extinct, and the Resistance is all that's left to try and fight back. We play as Melissa, a young woman off to find her dad, an ex-marine and member of the Resistance who went missing after chasing away the aliens overrunning their camp. She sets out alone, in the middle of the night, armed only with her hands, which are eternally locked in the creep position, ready to punch any aliens that get in her way. Thankfully, it's a quiet night out tonight, just the cool breeze, the alien flowers, and... I call him Dave. Oi, give that back. I need that to commit sin.
Shit, that's gonna leave a scar.
I think that's going to be more than a scar, unless you can regrow limbs. Wait, are you Piccolo? You don't look green.
Sounds like I'm not alone.
That's not going to be a problem. We've got one working fist and enough blood to blind them. Let's go. You know, if you took out the teeth, pretty sure the internet would love that thing.
Starving all of a sudden. Why does this smell so good?
Wait, did we just eat alien guts? Please don't tell me that tastes like chicken.
No, Sam, it's a lizard. It tastes like a lizard.
Is that a thing? Oh, God, I think we found some side effects. Some, amazingly shooty stabby side effects. This is the main meat of the game. Killing aliens, eating their flesh, and using that to upgrade our body into a much more efficient killing machine. And you know what? It's mostly fun. Your movement speed is a bit slow, even with upgrades. The arenas are kinda samey, and the gun isn't the most satisfying thing to fire, but it does good damage, especially when upgraded. And jumping around like Mario on a sugar high makes a good dodge mechanic in the absence of speed. And you always have those big claws to rip things apart. Wonder what effects these changes are having on her brain. She's fine. Now where I feel this game really excels is the art. The strange, twisted monsters, seemingly made out of a combination of animal and human. Their stiff, creepy movements, and the frankly painful looking changes our character goes through. It's some freaky body horror stuff going on here, and I really enjoyed it. It's all so weird, but good. And the fact there are some actual consequences for twisting our character to make it easier on us is both interesting and Mildly horrifying. Not much choice though, unless you can punch all these things to death. Which I highly doubt, because this game gets hard. It feels like the enemies plan out their shots, not aiming for where you are, but where you will be. And they hit hard. Some of these things are pretty durable too, taking ages to take down, even with an upgraded cannon. But as long as you keep moving and don't panic, you'll be fine. Enemies even drop health when they die. So killing is healthy. I played on normal and enjoyed the level of difficulty and tension it offered without getting too annoyed. And if I can do that, I'm gonna guess you can too. But like the other games, I don't really want to spoil this one, so that's as far as I'll go with this. Gunplay is a bit meh, but the gameplay is rewardingly difficult. The art is great, the story is told in an interesting body horror filled way, and the voice acting is actually quite nice, which is certainly rare for a horror game.
Oh my God.
Give this one a look, especially if you're looking for body horror done well in a video game. Good job, Wither. This is some good stuff. Return the tape, or suffer my late fees. This title I can't pronounce. It's a horror, I'm not sure. Developed by Vidus Games, the developers of Deer and the Timor series. In this game, you play as someone who seems to own an arcade, made up entirely of Vidus Games' previous work, who has received a gift. Oh, that's nice. I wonder what's in... Okay, what the fuck? How did you even do that? And what the hell did I do to make you want to do that? Either way, it's making the electronics act weird. So let's shove a camera down there. Okay, so it's definitely a hole to another world, but at least there's nothing down there.
Please, if you have a heart, help me.
Ho ho, you can fuck off. Gonna be honest, this is weird. Almost beyond description, but I still kind of enjoyed it. Does it have jump scares? Yes. But they aren't that bad. For one, they don't just scream at you. They're actually pretty sedate, all things considered. And for the second, they get pretty imaginative. Having something crawl out from your peripheral just as you think things are calming down is pretty well done. The flailing meat creature is a little bit silly, but, you know, I've seen worse. Oh, hey Satan, is it that time again? I'm not quite sure what else I can talk about, to be honest. This game is just plain weird. I had a good time playing it, don't get me wrong, but I have no idea what I did. And I've just beaten it. I think we're plugging arcade games into the hole to save some woman who kinda looks like a sex doll, and the more we do that, the more shit goes south. I think? This is making my head hurt. Look, it's not a bad game. I enjoyed it for all its quirky strangeness. And it does have some creative uses of jump scares instead of just shrieking at me. Also, we get to play on the claw machine. Neat. I'd recommend giving this a go. Maybe you can make more sense of this than my tiny brain ever could. Just be prepared to lose some sanity on the way out.
Cold and dark, wet and lonely. I can't stop shaking.
Okay, what you've just described is England. Everyone feels like that. You're not special.